Hey, my friends, Madam Maledicta back on the mic with you at the midpoint. Let's talk about these songs. As promised, that Beirut video, is that not amazing? I love Beirut. I was joking with my boyfriend that Beirut is definitely not from Beirut. I believe they're from Montreal, and that makes the naming of Beirut uh, so much of so much interest to me at the point at which Beirut was quite popular. Also, of Montreal was very popular, and they were also not from Montreal. And I always thought that was a very ironic thing. Beirut's not from Beirut, of Montreal's not from Montreal. And you know what? I could be quoting that wrong, but it was always my understanding that at least most of the band was not from Montreal. So yeah, Beirut with Caspian Tiger. Such a lovely song. Such a lovely, lovely song. And then a new track from Annalie Drecker of Bel Canto, from Bel Canto itself. And I was looking at the album cover while listening to this song and just marveling that Annalie Drecker is such a lovely looking person. She's lovely to look at. She's lovely to listen to. And you can see her face in these trees on this album cover, and it is such an odd little thing. It it's such a masterful album cover actually that her face superimposed in the background. It looks like she's got this really wicked beard of trees. She kind of looks like the Goblin Queen. It's kind of awesome. But new album from Bel Canto called Radiant Green came out. Let's see. I'll look at the date on this. I want to say this was a couple months ago. Yeah, this was 8 months ago that Bel Canto came out with this full album. And this is, I believe, the last track on this album, and it is the loveliest track on the album by far. I love this track, Wave Without a Shore. I've got it on many playlists at this point. Just love that track. And then ACs, I've been following them for a long, long time since I was on Eardrum Buzz, and just found them as a recommendation from my impeccable YouTube recommendation engine. Sometimes, if you do nothing but music, sometimes if you do stuff other than music, I don't know, but certainly if you do nothing but music like I do, in the middle of the night, wherever night is, where you are in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., YouTube will recommend just the best music. Something about the algorithm. And you see it in comment after comment. Who else is here in the middle of the night because YouTube recommended this while they couldn't sleep? And that is seriously, it's it's a very interesting thing to me that is what the algorithm is programmed to do, is find you while you're not sleeping and recommend good music for you. I think that's an interesting thing to program an algorithm to do because it was programmed before there was AI to determine when people were sleeping, before AI was Santa that knows when you're sleeping and when you're awake, which is creepy as hell. The creepiest Santa that ever was, AI. Yeah. Before that was really the case, when YouTube would sense that you were like out of in your time zone, that it was like middle of the night, it would start funneling you really good music. We're talking like way back before AI really was in charge of everything. Like 2012 even. Yeah. And I know that AI wasn't in charge of everything then because, once upon a time, Madame Maledicta worked in AI. And that was not so far after the point at which I was working in AI just in linguistics with the large corpus models and knew AI was far off from being able to do the things it does now, where it watches you while you're sleeping and while you're awake and is the bad Santa. But anyway, they were on it even then, and they're on it even now, and you still see comments even 2025 12 years later, you see comments, hey, who's here in the middle of the night because they couldn't sleep? So it works. And, whatever works, don't fix it, right? And that's how things tend to go. But it's still surprising to me that even before AI, that was a thing that YouTube's genome that it based music recommendations on was doing that for its music viewers in the middle of the night. I think that's cool. I don't know. I'm one with the wonder of what the algorithm has always been programmed to do. I always have been. Anyway, going on with our music here. AC's this song is called Horror Vacui, and what a beautiful video this is. It's a lovely animated video. It's a lovely, lovely song, and this came out. Let's see, from their. It says, I'm gonna read you the notes from our upcoming full-length record Opia, which, let's see, when does that come out? I'm not even seeing it. Let's see, because there's tons of Spotify links here. So I'm looking for the link that's not Spotify. Kickstarter, they did a Kickstarter project for this. Let's see what the date of actual release is on Opia. I'm not sure if they've reached that goal yet or not. Let's find out. Does look like they've exceeded their goal by about 5 times. That's great. 587 backers on that. And let's see. I'm just looking for the release date. So it does look like it's possibly been released. Maybe. I don't know. That's a really good question. Do not blink out screen. Do not do that. Anyway. So, I'll have to look. I'll have to actually look, and follow some links that aren't Spotify, to go find out. Oh, limited edition vinyl CD. Okay, but that's this Kickstarter. Well, that's all right. Other streaming platforms, I'll go at it in a little while because it's delaying what I'm here to do. So, up next in that set, you heard from Patrick Watson featuring Charlotte Cardon. Cardon. Am I saying that right? Maybe it's Cardon. Maybe it's Cardon. Cardon. Could be. I'm not sure. Depends on where in the world Charlotte Cardon is. Anyway, nice song from Patrick Watson and Charlotte Cardon there. Gordon and the Willows. And what you're seeing is the video with the Spanish lyrics. Did I do that for a reason? Oh, you bet. Yeah, there's a political reason behind that. I'm not going to say it today because I said I was going to stay away from this stuff today because I just want to give people respite. So, but there's a reason that I chose the Spanish lyrics on that one. And you know what it is. And then Heaven's Club with Free World is the next one you heard from. That is on Born Losers Records. And let's see when this was released. It looks like it's an EP. You can find it on Bandcamp. And oh, YouTube, don't do that. Don't ask me if I want to leave. Yes, of course I do. I clicked it. But I know there's lots of fishy stuff on YouTube, but not this. Anyway, Heaven's Club. Let's look for the release date on this. February 28th of this year, this came out. A really good song. Probably a really good album. I have not checked out the full album yet, but plan on it. And then you heard from, let's see, Marinia. I'm going to try to say that right. Marinia Krut with Pisne Moje live on KXP. What a great song this is. What a beautiful song played on tambura, which is a traditional Ukrainian instrument. And she is a Ukrainian performer performing live on KXP, KEXP. I do believe this was recorded actually in January, but they put this up on their channel about 3 days after the Zelensky Trump talks as a commentary. Love KXP for that because they're really, without saying anything, they're saying something. Love that. And then Stages by Olafur Arnalds and Loreen. And this came out, let's see, this came out just 13 days ago. That is so brand new. I love Olafur Arnalds. And I do have to say, if it, honestly, if it were not for both my mother and my daughter on this front, there's a lot of music that wouldn't be in this list. I'm looking through it and just saying, hey, that's something that my mom turned me on to. That's something that my daughter turned me on to, which is I'm noticing that interesting continuum because yesterday was my daughter's 16th birthday. Yeah, happy 16th to Maria. But um, also, I haven't talked to my mom in a few days, and I know this is like my mom's favorite show. And lots of this music is here because she suggested it. So I am an Olafur Arnalds fan because I am, when I was before my mom got turned on to Olafur Arnalds. I believe I was the one who turned her on to Olafur. But nonetheless, she said, you should subscribe to that. And that's why I want to hear more of it on your show when I was on Eardrum Buzz. So I did. And I've been a happy subscriber ever since. I do love Olafur Arnalds. And then Sally Shapiro. This is out on Italians Do It Better Records. And I do love them. They put forward a whole lot of different kinds of music. So you've got some dream ethereal stuff, you've got some synth pop stuff, you've got um straight up like new retro wave stuff. Really, really good. But this is from Sally Shapiro's The Other Days, released looks like on the 11th. So that's really not long ago. Really just a couple days. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about that is go look for it in your favorite record store or over on Bandcamp, or you can just go to the Italians Do It Better site. All of their good records are listed there. They also have Bandcamp as well. All right. And then Charlotte Eckel. This is somebody I had not heard of until searching for songs for this show. I just needed to round things out so that I had some really current stuff because I make this list and I've been making this list since last year. So I've got something like, I don't know, 106, 126 songs on this list. Amazing. I'll make it public today so that you can go see it and just go listen to a whole year's worth of lovely Dream and Ethereal music that I would hear it and I would pick it out and put it on the list. And that's how I always do it. And even if I'm not doing a show, I'm making a list. So that list was made and I should publicize it and allow everyone to have it. But this song, A Little Quiet, was a brand new release, released on the 6th, and says it was performed live on the Bierung River in this video on William County. I'm not sure where that is. That's wonderful, but that's definitely a native name. But where is that? Featuring Sam Anning on double bass and Charlie Mosley on violin. Filmed, recorded, and edited by Tom Adder. I love when all the credits are there. That's so good. So good to know that everyone in the video and everyone in the music gets credit. I love that. She has a Bandcamp page. The lyrics are here on the video. You can click through on that and go check out that release. Good stuff. I'm looking at this video, and every time I would look out of the corner of my eye, I would think it was this wonderful lady that I grew up with who kind of adopted me when I was about 17. Her name is Ruth, and she's actually my friend Pixie's mom. Pixie, who I consider a sister, because we basically just grew up together, and I love Ruth. God, I love Ruth. I miss Ruth. She lives in Colorado and has a bunch of dogs and is just a lovely person. I haven't talked to her in a while. I should get a hold of my sister Pixie and be like, "Hey, let's call your mom." So, but yeah, she's very much out of the corner of my eye. Reminds me of Ruth, Charlotte Eckel, and that's endearing, isn't it? It's endearing when you look at someone and you're like, "Oh, hey, you look like a really important figure from my life." That's always nice. All right, so we'll be going on to the next 8 songs. Let's see. Next 8 songs. No, 7 songs from here. And I will just repeat that so you know what you're listening to here. So we're going to listen to Dotan with Cigarette Smoke, Walgren with To Be a Creature, Javito with More Than Just a Soul, Sydney Rose with We Hug Now, let's see, Hemlock with Lovely, Sam Fender with TV Dinner, and Diana Gavansky with Bolted Heart. And then I will be back on the mic with you to talk more about those songs before the end of the show. And then I will bid you all a fond adieu. So, let's listen to these 7 songs. And remember, this show doesn't happen like every week. This show happens once a month. So tune in here once a month. I'll announce it on Blue Sky for the Dream and Ethereal show. And once a month I'll have enough material to actually put a show forward because Dream and Ethereal music, I'm subscribed to a lot of it, but I don't see tons of releases coming out in this community. If you are a Dream or Ethereal band and you want your stuff played on the show, please contact me. I am pleased to say that a band that I featured on the Dream and Ethereal show years ago on Eardrum Buzz contacted me on Blue Sky today, and I sat and listened to those albums and just wept because I love them so much and I miss them so much. So they're honest like soul twins, I think, to to Tim and Jeff Buckley, and that's a high compliment, but it's true. Fellow Hollow, love that band. So anyway, the Dream and Ethereal list is good. It's got new music coming out. I look for it. I make this list, and whenever I come across something lovely, too lovely to describe, it goes on the list. And that's basically my criteria. Is it lovely? Will it set your soul aloft? Okay, it'll go on the list. So, I'm expecting that probably once a month I'm gonna have about enough material to do 15 songs in the Dream Ethereal sets. So, it may be more than that. It really depends. If I have 15 songs, you'll have a show on a Thursday. And if I don't, you won't. But I will announce it first. There is always a show on Thursday. It's usually a synth show or a potpourri show, like a music history show. I still have yet to do one of those. I'm going to redo one of my history shows from the past so that I can fill out the playlist for some missing videos that I cannot find. So I cannot find them on YouTube to send them in the playlist and make it appear whole for my music history section. So I'm just going to go ahead and redo some of those shows. And I'll redo them on Thursdays. Because that's how it always was. Music history or dream or synth on Thursdays. And that's how it is now. Because I said when I went back to doing my show, I would just go back to doing it the way I did it on Eardrum Buzz. Because it worked so well. So that's what I'm doing here on YouTube. And you can expect that. So, yes, come back for uh for more music being like continue on this list for more music. If you are tuning in and you don't know, it should be there should be a link in the chat. So let's just see. Let's just see if there's a link in this chat. And I'll check it out and see. Eh. Watching. Let's see. And I'm looking for the chat box and not finding it. I do know that I left a link here. Yep, there it is. Yep, there it is. Good stuff. All right, so if you are not uh, tuned in to the whole list, please do so. And we're gonna start out with Do-10, and I'll be back on the mic with you before the last song plays. Okay? Sound good? Let's do this.